internet. Yeah. All
Oh,
right. Let's see. Let's see how long this internet lasts. Hi guys. I like you're already lagging for me.
oh
I
no.
told you. Did I tell you that like recently, literally this week, I was doing some internet tests and I literally said I wanted to snap my laptop in half. That's that's my
You know, it,
every time I start these episodes, that's my mood. I don't. Yeah.
but I mean, I said it before, and I'm going to say it again. But it's going to be a very convenient excuse for me if we have to cut this short, and I'll blame it on the internet instead of my blast last.
Oh my
So if the
god.
internet fails, it's all going to be your fault, not mine.
Well, yeah, and then I'm gonna blame whoever gave me this laptop. This is just. Oh my god. I'm saying this for the record, guys. Fuck this laptop. Fuck the internet. Why can't we go back to the
Fuck
good old days?
technology.
Yeah, why can't we go back to the good old days where we met in like a town square and did this shit? You know what I'm saying?
We can try pigeons or
Yeah,
like smoke signals or something.
it was surprisingly more efficient. Fuck. All right. Hi guys. Okay. Welcome to the RegiCast. All right, I'm your host Reginald. Joining me is Cinzia. Cinzia?
That was really good. Yeah,
All right,
that's
I
right.
did it. Yeah, fuck all y'all. I could do SIQ. Yeah, joining me is Cinzia. Hi, Cinzia.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. I literally think it's just him here. So, Odom, you're going to be our favorite guest for the next hour.
Hi,
So,
Otim.
everyone on the replay, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to just chill. I have learned from one of my good friends in the community, my blast isn't even good. So I've given up.
Don't count
All
on
of the
me.
yeah, all of the relevant shit's in the description. Okay? that's that's like people been calling me out for that blast so many times. I've given up. I'm over it. So that's how you deal with your demons, Cinzia. You just don't do them. You know?
Well, you
Yeah.
are kind of addressing your demons now, actually, because I always thought that your blast, the first minutes of your blast, are a DE thing because the DE wants to say, look, I'm not going to leave you behind. I'm going to explain to you what we're going to do. And every DI out there would just be, well, just go watch an earlier video and just, get that information yourself, you idiot.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So you are
Yeah.
kind of taking charge of your DI, saying, well, if you want to know what this is all about, then go back to a previous video and watch it yourself.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, it only took me 44 episodes to come to this conclusion. You know? God damn it. All right, so let's go ahead and start. You ready for the ritual? Are you ready to commence?
Yeah, what's the ritual? I have no idea. Oh my god.
As is tradition, okay, we're gonna start with our first impressions.
Oh yeah. Okay, I prepped for that actually.
Oh,
You
you
don't even
did?
know. Well,
Okay,
because I'm so good with preparation and planning.
of course.
Obviously.
Yeah. So what do you got?
Right. Okay. So I was thinking back. I mean, the first impression doesn't really count because I just met you in the NET group that we have on Facebook, but we didn't really
Yeah.
have an interaction. So I think my actual first impressions recently were when you started your channel, and I watched some of your videos, but I obviously didn't watch them well enough because I didn't know about ritual, right? And I think, well, yeah, I would say my first impressions were good, neutral to good, like normal. You were very active, very engaged. But I will say I probably was quite scared of your FI.
Well,
Because I'm not sure if that's if that's who you are or if that's something you're trying to like addressing your demons. But I always have the feeling that you are, and that's not negative, by the way. That's quite positive. You are quite assertive about your FI, or you have been recently saying like, "This is what I like, and I will stand by it." And to
yeah.
me, that was very, very assertive, very. masculine FI, and I thought, oh my God, can I deal with that? Will I be good enough?
Aren't you masculine FI? What the fuck?
Yeah, but mine isn't as good.
No, I'm calling bullshit. You're double activated on that.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, that doesn't count for shit. I can tell you, it's ridiculous.
Oh
Mine is such a demon. It feels like I've been thinking about that recently. It feels like in the Flintstones, the baby boy who's really strong and he doesn't know it. That's how he feels, because it's like a beast, and that's why I keep it in a cage. But when it comes out, it's like out of control, and it's scary, but I can't control it.
No, that's crazy. I literally have described my FI that way once now, not the exact sensory. I use Naruto. I don't know if you know about Naruto, but in that fictional account, there is a demon beast, right? That like is locked within this main character. And that's how I feel sometimes. I'm like, look, I think I think the major difference between us is maybe partially I've been conditioned through that consume to want to let that out, because that shit's cool. Like, you want the demon fox out.
Yeah, but then I'm consumed as well.
Well, I think we're consuming different things, is what I'm saying.
Right? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So okay, so good, really good first impression. My first impression, we already discussed my first impression behind the scenes. I've learned from experience not to say it. Okay.
Let the awkwardness roll.
No. I've learned. Okay?
No, let's do it. I mean, it's fun. No. It's awkward but fun. I mean, look at us, two demon FIs talking about emotions, right? Like, yay.
I've learned from the SI that's apparently a bad thing to say that someone's attracted. Fuck y'all. Okay, I'm apparently not allowed.
You are. Yeah. I'm allowing you, and well, let me just say, you are attractive too, and make this all. I'm gonna make this even more awkward now, but hey, we are allowed to do that. We are allowed to be
we're gonna make this TE. We're gonna make this TE. Why is this shit awkward?
Yes. Now you're talking.
what
it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense
no
if you just state. Yeah, it makes no sense if you're just stating an opinion. That doesn't mean anything. It's just stating a fact.
That's what I said.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, I'm not trying to steal your girl yet. That's like 3 months from now. Right? You gotta wait. Be patient. Okay. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand. But okay. So that was part of my first impression. We've already discussed that. I do think so. Interacting with you, and then also you starting your YouTube channel was very encouraging to me. Yeah, like it was very encouraging to me watching you do that, because it's like your YouTube channel is so, to me, I don't think I've ever told you this. It feels very SIFI to me, actually. It's like, look, I have my routine. I'm doing this on Sundays, and I'm gonna talk about things I enjoy, and I'm not really gonna promote it. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool.
It's really I'm trying to actually do two things, I guess. I'm trying to do my demons. That's also why my videos are so short, because shortness, like, it forces me to really narrow down my points and to practice the blast, I guess, instead of just rambling on and on and on. And I'm also trying to do as few cuts as possible so that I can practice speaking at length about something without tripping over my words. And it's really hard. But at the same time, I also hope that some people might be finding this useful for if they have the same demons. So it's kind of like I'm trying to do my demons, but I'm also approaching it from my savior state of trying to be useful to the tribe.
I think those are both demons. Those are both your demons, right? Because your blast has TE.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean the overall goal of being useful to the tribe, that's clearly savior state. Like, I want to be useful to the state. If someone tells me your videos are really, they look awful but they're really useful, that's the best compliment for me, because that's what I want to do. But I'm trying to not do that over the top, because that's my savior state, and I want to be more in a demon. Well, practicing my demons, I guess.
Yeah.
But so far it's not gone too well, but I'm practicing. So
What do you mean
yeah,
it's
I mean,
not gone well?
it's okay. It's just I'm learning. Let's put it that way. It's quite hard. It's once you try to do the SI and all the sensory, it really hits you how hard this all is, and you have all the respect in the world for YouTubers now, because I've realized how hard it is, and obviously I don't have the software that will probably make things easier, but still it takes so much time editing and speaking, and it's awful, but it's my project now. And you are one of the two people who actually motivated me to do it, so thanks
Oh
to you
yeah,
as
because
well.
I Gary feed your ass.
You did. Yeah.
Yep.
I thought, wow, gotta kick myself into gear now.
There you go.
And it was also the notion of, we talked about this in the pre-interview when I said something like, you might have a really good idea, but because you're never blasting, someone else might come up with the same idea and then start their channel or do their thing and overtake you. And so I thought, well, I better start my channel before someone else does the exact same thing, because right now I still don't have an exact type twin in my group, in the OP group. And I thought, well, it's only a matter of time until someone comes along, and then maybe they will start a channel. They probably won't, because they're also blast last. It's going to take them another 2 years too. But I just thought, well, there's no way around. I'll have to get over it.
Yeah, that's the. So I will confess, that's the TE competitiveness. We have to be the best of our type. I refuse to be outdone in my type. I'm sorry. That's just.
That's why
people are nicer than me. Yeah,
that's
but
why that's why I hogged the name. My YouTube name is my actual type, because well, first of all, because I wanted to stay private. I wouldn't want to put my name there, but and I thought, well, if some type twin comes along and they're going to claim my name, my type as their name, no, it's not going to happen.
Exactly. We're kindred spirits. Okay.
I'm like my 512 OG.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So really good. So let's do this. We're gonna go into the OP shit.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
You didn't prepare, so
no,
you're gonna have to help me out.
Not.
You're gonna have to help me out. Like, what do you want to do?
No. You tell me. It's your interview.
God. All right. Fine.
You tell me your plan. You're up because obviously you will have plans, right?
Of course. All right. So let's do our fake notes. We're gonna go. It looks like we're gonna do largely FI and then the compare and contrast of our types. So guys, just so you know, we're super close. The only difference is that she has blast last, I have sleep last. So it's like actually really close. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's start with. I don't know what to start with. There's too many options. Let's start with the FI.
Okay.
Start with the FI. All right, you ready? So FI, you mentioned that you, as well as I, had an epiphany after the Shan interview. You want to talk about your epiphany?
Yeah, because I rewatched the interview just today, actually, and she said something to you, something along the lines of how, well, two things actually. Sorry, blast last. I'm already rambling. So one thing she said is, we as TE, if you TE over FI, you will ask bullshit questions in order to deflect from your FI conversations. So, for example, when you had your thing with Shan, you probably asked her something like, "Well, how's your family going? How's your house? Have you moved house yet?" And she would say, "Well, stop that bullshit, because what we need to talk about is the emotional state and the resentment." And I realized today that I'm actually doing the exact same thing with a person that I know, because there's been so much resentment building up, and I'm trying to just start the conversation again. And the only way I know how to do it is by asking him, well, how was your day? How was your week? What have you been up to? And it's just so fake. And I just realized, well, I will have to own up to this and just say, well, look, the elephant in the room is that both of us are angry and annoyed and resentful, and we have to talk about this if we want to get this out of the way. And it's going to be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the other thing, sorry?
Go ahead. I said I still avoid it.
Yeah.
But I channel changed. Keep going.
No, because the thing is, I can talk now about, well, I'm going to do this and I'm going to address the feelings, and I probably won't, but I should. But maybe I will. I should. But it's just so hard when you don't have any accountability. So maybe I'll have to up my accountability and just say, well, I'm going to text you when I addressed it tomorrow or something, just to have someone to hold me accountable.
You have such a serious voice when you talk about it too. That's hilarious.
Because it is serious. It's like the emotions are serious.
Yes, absolutely.
I need an SI plan, like tomorrow at 5.
Oh my god.
No.
That's so
but the other thing was the Sorry, there was a lag.
Can you keep going?
Sorry. The other thing was just that she mentioned something like there could be one little thing, like an email or some resentment, right? And you'll ignore it, and then it will stack up and stack up and stack up and spiral out of control and cause a massive tidal wave. And then obviously, because it's so massive, your TU will be, well, there's no way this little email could have caused this. It must be much bigger. And so that made me think that it's funny. There's a song that I know, an old song from my country, and it's really old, but it's about someone lighting a match for a cigarette, and then the match drops to the floor, and then the floor catches fire, and then the house catches fire, and then the whole city burns down, and basically mayhem. And then at the end of the song, he says something like, so I wanted to light a cigarette and the match dropped to the floor. And it's a good thing I picked it back up. And so the morale of the game, the thing is, like, if you pick it up right away, it won't spiral out of control. But that means that you have to pick it up. And that's exactly the same with the FI thing that happens in the beginning. You have to address it right away while it's still manageable. And that's probably what the saviors do, right? They probably address their emotions all the time while they're still manageable, whereas we let it spiral out of control, and then once we get to managing them, it's just overwhelming. And
and then if you're me, you just make a big deal out of it. Get your friend therapists involved,
well, I'm the same. Honestly,
that is my life.
So
talk to me about like because you mentioned your FI is kind of like a bam bam beast, right? Like how are you managing that type of anger or like energy while it's still small? I don't know how would you do that?
I'm still learning how to do that, and I'm still failing, actually, because just yesterday I had a massive tidal wave, and it's so hard because I think it's easier said than done. It's like, deal with your emotions. What's the big deal? But the thing is, if you really want to deal with your emotions, that will presuppose that you actually feel them. And well, obviously I can feel sad, I can feel good, I can feel the simple emotions, but I think I have trouble identifying complex emotions. And so what I mean by that is, just recently a friend of mine got really bad news, health news, and obviously it doesn't really affect me personally because we're friends, but it's not me who's being sick, who's sick. And so on the one hand, I think I felt really bad for her, very sad for her. But on the other hand, it's going to sound really bad, but I also probably felt relief that it wasn't me. And then obviously also guilt, because that's not what you're supposed to feel. And then all that stuff became just like a big, massive ball of emotional charge. And yesterday when I was training, I'm training from home, I think what triggered it was that I was training and I wasn't feeling good and I couldn't hit the numbers that I wanted to hit. So I was worse than I thought. And I felt annoyed at that because, well, I was supposed to do that and it should have been working, and why am I not making any progress, and why am I so bad? And then it came crashing down on me because I immediately thought, well, look at me bitching and moaning about fucking powerlifting when my friend's dying. and I think that kind of, I don't know, it's like a complex ball of emotions that I just couldn't handle because I wouldn't take the time to unpack it and say, well, look, okay, there's guilt, there is sadness, there is relief, there is like all these complex emotions that I just didn't take the time to address. And it's probably just a matter of, just like I think Danielle said it in your interview, where she said, well, and I think she was talking about sleep, but it applies to FI as well. She said something like, oh, well, my brain does it on autopilot, but yours doesn't. So maybe you'll have to set reminders to do it. And I was thinking maybe I will do that, to just set reminders on my phone, like think about your emotional state, process it, and allow yourself to feel these emotions, even if they don't make sense. So kind of like allow yourself to feel annoyed when your training isn't going the way it should be going, even if it doesn't make sense. And even if you know that there's a million people out there who have it even much worse than you, it still doesn't mean that you're not allowed your emotions. I think that's, something I've been processing recently. Sorry, that was a super ramble.
No. It's funny, you say that a lot to me, where you're like, I'm sorry for rambling. It doesn't feel like rambling to me. Either that or I just don't know what rambling is, I guess. I enjoyed listening to that.
Okay,
good. It's kind of
that's good.
Terrible situation, unfortunately.
Yeah. But I mean, I think I talked about this in the pre-interview as well. I can't trust myself on these things, so I'm going to have to trust you and just trust me to tell me to shut up, because I always feel like I'm talking too much. I feel like I'm talking too much already. It's like no one wants to hear that shit.
I'm about to throw some shade, and I'm saying this with the greatest respect.
Do it.
Have you seen some of these blasters, bro?
I know.
That's what I'm saying. You're fine.
Know.
You're okay.
That's true.
You're okay. Yeah, you're fine. So, oh my God. So yeah, you're fine. I will say it's interesting because it's like you're fleshing out like your experience, and I think I don't think there's a time and place to be short and to the point, and there's a time and place where it needs to be fleshed out. Mm-hmm. I think this was for me, I thought this was like an example of, they call it like a consume report. Mm-hmm. Kind of needed to do that, like, because it's not like you have like a lesson necessarily. It's like you just had this happen yesterday. You know?
That's true. And I could probably, and that would be the hardest part for me, to really dissect it and then to structure it in a way to where it could become not a lesson, but maybe like a blaster report more than a consume report. And I'm going to say, well, this happened and that happened and this happened. But that's the hardest thing.
So that's a perfect transition to the blast last, right? Because, or just the contrast between like Demon Blast and Save Your Consume, or Demon Blast and Save Your Consume. Like, I mean, we're both Demon Blast, but I mean, mine is higher. So it's like, at least for me, I understand. I feel like I understand the blast perspective, or at least I try to. Like for blasters, and actually, this actually happened recently in one of our recent clubhouses where we talked about this. Blast feels obligated to share the information they have, because if they see, like, it's almost like, especially with TE, if they see that you're having a problem and they know the answer and they're not telling you, they feel like responsible for that.
Yeah, but see, that's what I do too. But maybe from a DE perspective or TE perspective, because if I know an answer to someone's question, I will absolutely tell them. But I think the problem with blast for me is more the not just the talking bit, because that's just one aspect of blast, right? The not talking exactly, but teaching and teaching narrowed down information. That is absolutely hard, but yeah, I can talk just fine through the play. But I think the hardest part for me when it comes to blast is really transitioning. So the transitioning, as in getting started, but also stopping, or just transitioning. And that's actually maybe for if someone's watching this who's not been typed yet and who's thinking whether they're play or blast last or whatever, that's actually why I thought I was play last, because so the transitioning thing for me is really just, it's getting started, but it's also stopping. So for example, when I'm invited to a party, for example, I would say yes, I'm coming, but then when the time comes when I actually have to get ready, that's the hardest thing. And I would be absolutely one of those people who say, well, I'm just going to stay home if no one else is missing me, because it's just, if it's a group that say meet up for a party or something and no one will be missing me and no one's depending on me to be there, I will probably say I'm not coming 8 out of 10 times, because I won't get ready. And then on the other hand, also once I'm there, I have a hard time leaving because I don't want to say goodbye. I don't want to grab the attention of everyone and saying, look, I'm leaving now, and shake hands with everyone, or just, no, I usually wait until someone leaves and then I just tag along, because that makes it easier. And even right now, that's also why I hate phone calls, because even right now I'm already anxious about how we're going to end this because I'm so awkward when it comes to saying, look, I got to go now, and say goodbye, blah blah. And I always thought that might be play last, but it's actually because of the blast last, because usually when I'm at the party, I'm doing just fine. And also when I'm with someone and they do the transitioning, then that's fine too. So if I was in a phone call with 3 people, or like right now, I can rely on you saying, like, now it's coming to the end and we're ending this now. And it's I know I sound ridiculous, and it is, but that's really what I thought was the reason why I thought I was play last, because I will absolutely avoid social contact, but not because of the social contact, but because of the start and the end. Because the getting started and the getting finished is the worst thing ever. And I think, well, one of in the group, I think Habib, he asked something saying, how can I distinguish between blast and play? And that would be how, because getting things done when I've already started is easy. I have all the energy in the world and I get energy from doing things, but the getting started bit is really, really hard. And that's why I just implemented things like lowering the threshold. So, for example, when I'm doing taxes, getting started is hard, but once I'm at the laptop, it's really easy. So what I do is usually just say, okay, I'm just going to go and get all the documents and put them on the table. And then on the next day, I'm just going to download the software. And then on the next day, I might get started with filling in the tax return sheet. And usually what happens is I will and that lowers my threshold for getting started. So it lowers the threshold for blasting. And what usually then happens is I would get the documents, and then I've got over the hump, and then my play picks up, and I will blast through it. But what happened? I think I'm now the only one. Oh. So, hi tribe. Can you still see me? I might be your host now, for now, until Reggie comes back. So yay me for blasting. That's absolute super savior state, like control the tribe. That's what I do for a living. So let me just deflect and just go through the comments. Maybe I can see some questions, and my play will pick up. So yeah, I'll start from the bottom. Yeah, this is my blaster moment, but yeah, I don't enjoy it. It's awful. I don't even know what to blast about. This is blast in the wild, because here I am. The platform is mine, and I have no idea what to talk about. I did broke the matrix, didn't I? So okay, let's get to some questions. So Augmented Personalities asks, how do you feel about the SFST? How did that pop up now? Oh my God. Observer freakout. Wow, okay. That's some badass software right there. Anyway, so how do I feel about the SFST? Well, how do you mean? If I respect it, or what exactly do you mean? Because if I've done the math right, I should be ST last. So if you go by the temperaments, right? And the thing is, that might be a peacocking thing, but I really, really value ST. I would be one of those people at work who would say things like, yeah, enough about the bullshitting and talking about nonsense. Where are the numbers? And this might be because there's a void that I leave because I don't have the numbers. So how I feel about the ST, I feel really good. Well, I feel like I value it. I want it. I seek it, probably. And the SF would be third for me. So that would be my hobby. And you don't even know how good I am at doing makeup. No, I'm really not. But yeah, I feel like SF is something I look down on, but also kind of admire. That's what I wanted to go into anyway with in terms of the animals, but we can do it with the temperaments as well. My theory, and that might be super wrong, is that your third animal, or in this case, the third temperament, is something that you that's like your subjective void, and your fourth animal or your fourth temperament is like your objective void. So what I mean by that is your third animal or your third temperament would be something you see enough that you are aware of it, but you also see that you suck at it. And so I think it's true for me with the SF. I see it enough to see that, yeah, I'm really bad at it. And which makes me want to improve it, but it also makes me want to shit on it because I can't improve it. I'm really not. I mean, I could, but I'm really not willing to work on it. Whereas the ST, or in the case of the animals, it's something like I can't even see that I'm bad at blasting because it's just off the radar. So it's like a super objective void because I leave it everywhere, but because I can't see it, it's not a subjective void. So I don't feel the need to improve on it. Whereas with the sleep, which is third for me, I can see the void. I can see how I'm not really doing it enough, even though it's technically probably better than my blast. So it's less of an objective void than the blast. Do you know what I mean? I have no idea what I'm talking Oh, here he is back.
So, am I even here?
I don't even know what happened. I
can't even see my video. This is just.
But you're back, and I just
So my question is:
rambled on.
Do you just want to do the rest of the episode like that? I could leave.
No, but you could see me, but you couldn't see yourself. Oh my god! I thought it was just gone, and I thought, oh my god.
Yeah.
I have to feel
my mic stopped working.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is play in the wild. Like, you just jump in and do something, right?
Yeah. I mean, do you want to? I mean, I could go off of the stream.
No, please don't. Oh god.
You sure?
I'm out of blast already.
You're doing great.
Just like, I feel drained.
Yeah. It's hilarious because I was the one who clicked on the comments. That's why Paul pulled up. So I wanted you to feel like it was some mysterious magic.
Mm-hmm. So that's that. I thought did it get triggered by me reading it aloud? And I thought,
wouldn't that be cool?
That would be super great. So that's some next level shit there.
Yeah. So I don't even know where we left off. I'm already fucking triggered. I give up.
But we're doing great. We're handling it. Sensory chaos and technology. It's great.
Yeah. I'm really worried about this laptop's health right now, because if this happens again, I'm gonna have two halves of a laptop. Is how this is gonna happen.
And of course, it's happening when I am there. And
yeah. Anyway,
it was the universe telling me to practice my blast.
Yeah, and it was the universe telling me to control my emotions before I destroy something. Jesus. Well, all right. So how do you want to do this, Cinzia? I'm already emotionally exhausted.
Yeah, same. I'm wow.
So okay, so you mentioned? Did you already mention the objective versus subjective void?
Yeah, I just talked about that. But I'm not sure if it made sense.
Okay.
So something like, so the theory, my theory behind this would be that the fourth animal would be so off your radar that you can't even see it. So you don't feel the need to improve it because you can't even see it. Whereas objectively, obviously, the fourth animal would be the worst, and you should probably work on that the most. Do you know what I mean? But because you can't see it, you're not even aware of it. Whereas the third animal, you're probably more aware of it, and you're probably aware that you suck at it. But so that's probably why you want to work on that first, because you can see how bad it is. Whereas objectively, it's still better than the fourth animal, and objectively, you probably shouldn't. You shouldn't work. Well, you should also work on that, but it would probably be more important to work on the fourth. But because you can't see it, you feel like it's more important to work on the third.
Yeah, that's what I meant. And you leverage it to beat up the fourth one. I mean, that's what I'm doing with not just the. I mean, now that I don't know why, but now that you're saying it right now, I experienced that with my functions for sure. Like my FI, I feel my FI problems more strongly than my SI, so I work on my FI more.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. I feel like my tidal waves are more severe when it comes to FI, or more. I feel them more, but maybe that's just because the function is tied to your emotion. It would be interesting to see like a double observer with SI in them, like the same demons, but the other way around. If they still felt the third demon to be worse than the fourth, because as far as I know, Shan always talked about that her FI is the worst, so that would be her fourth. So it could be the function.
Yeah, we'd have to define it, right? Like I guess when I say worse, it's like maybe more frequent. I feel my FI problems more frequently. Does that make sense?
That's true.
Whereas SI, for me, the SI is like, how they talk about like 5-year tidal waves, 10-year tidal waves. Yeah. That's where my SI will hit.
That's true.
And then it's like the world's over.
Yeah, it's like my FIDI thing is like happening on a daily basis, whereas SI tidal waves might hit once a week.
So tie this to animals, because I could see it with functions, but not necessarily animals. So with your sleep, do you feel more like you have sleep problems on a regular basis?
It's a good question. I clearly haven't thought about that. So yeah, it was probably just a bullshit theory. But
there you go.
I definitely feel more exhausted than I feel. Like I feel the void more from the lack of sleep energy than I feel the void of the lack of blast, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it could depend on so many different things, because I feel like my blast gets like balanced a bit through the play, because once I get going, I can really get shit done, because of the play energy. I am very much an energizer bunny in that regard. Yeah, I'm not. I wouldn't say so. In my audio, Shan said something like that. Blast can be one of the lazy types because they never get shit done. But I would say that objectively, I'm definitely not lazy. I am. But so I feel like if it's probably even worse if you have play and blast in your demons. That might be even more challenging because the play can't really help you. But yeah, my first instinct is to go into the group and see what they think. But that's my
if
play
that's what you want to do. So Jasper's saying the function shared by your two demon animals is the one you use the least. Well, yeah.
So that would be SIFI. Oh, so that would be worse. That would be sleep for me then.
Shared by our two demon. The function shared by demon animals. So it would still be SI.
Yeah, but how does that work? So hang on. But sleep, the functions shared
are your two demon animals. So you have demon, sleep, and blast.
So TE,
SI,
FI,
and then there's SITE.
SITE. So I would basically be just using any, but that doesn't make sense, does it? I mean, it feels like it should be the other way. But yeah, but then that would mean that all people use 3 functions the least, or is it the double activate? It's like just like because one animal activates 2 functions, and then the 2 demon animals activate, in my case, 3 functions. So that would mean that I use 3 functions the least. That maybe he means that, or maybe.
I see. Okay, I see what you're processing. It's like like so technically, it's like it's like one function's just gonna dominate, and it's not always gonna be your top one. So for example, if you're consume sleep, right, what you have in common is the FI, and you could be an ENFP, but technically you have double activated like FI. But apparently Jasper's not talking about activation. So Jasper, I give up. I'm not gonna TE explain you anymore. I'm over it. I didn't even want to go into the chat.
Yeah, it'd be interesting. I probably misunderstood you. Sorry.
I'm over it. He can explain himself in the Q&A section.
Probably. Or maybe it's like the shared function. So Emily says something like,
"That's what I said the first time."
Oh, sorry. Oh, okay. Yeah. So it would be SI, but then, but is there always? Yeah.
I'm over it. But I'm over it.
It's too much thinking.
We'll get to it later.
That's something else. But that's the thing about TE, and I had a conversation with someone recently about why the TEs might look dumb to TIs. It's because we don't have time to go in depth for one particular problem, because there's 100 problems to solve, and we have to find simple answers to each and every problem so that we can solve the other ones. Whereas TI will just pick one and then go really deep and, analyze the problem deeply. And that's why it might look dumb on the surface, but obviously if we focused on one problem, we could probably do it as well. It's just we won't, like right now we don't want to. It's too exhausting. And it's
That's
probably
why
the other way around for FI, right? It's probably the other way around for FI. That's why we feel so deeply when we might pick one problem with the person and go really in a deep rabbit hole of FI, whereas an FE person, I might be wrong, would be more like, I have to emote with so many other people today that I can't emote deeply with you, not as deeply, because there's someone else I need to emote with and someone else's emotional state I need to share. So I have to move on from this emotional state. That's how I see it.
That's why the Q&A exists. That just reinforced to me why the Q&A section exists. We will get to that. Okay?
Oh,
make you ask a question. Oh my god. All right. That's why SI exists. Thank you for helping me see my demons or whatever. So, within the last 10 minutes, let's do just like a simple compare and contrast because we do have some notes on that. And then we'll go to the Q&A. Okay?
Yes.
So, you talked about like how am I, so you were asking me how am I working on my demons versus how are you working on your demons, but apparently Emily doesn't want me here, so we gotta.
Well, I do.
Emily, yeah, you gotta figure out the FE.
I canceled her out, so
yeah. Okay, so let's talk about that. So for you, what have you been doing to work on blast and sleep then?
So I think for Blast, it would absolutely be my YouTube channel that I started, because it forces me, again, I'm trying to do short videos with just one point that I'm trying to make in each video. And it forces me to really narrow down all the things I want to talk about and structure it in a way that makes sense. And it's, I mean, the videos are 4 minutes long, but it takes me about 2 hours to do them because I just can't narrow things down and make sense. And I think it's also that's just not just Blast, but it's also sleep energy, because it forces me to really think about what I actually want to say, instead of just rambling on. But in all honesty, I mean, I'm really not the poster child for doing demon work, I guess, because I'm always talking about, I should do it, and I should do this, and I should sleep process it, but then I catch myself not doing it. So, for example, I go for a lot of walks, which would be a really good opportunity to do sleep work. But what I do is I listen to podcasts while I'm walking. So that's not sleeping. That's consuming. And the only way to do some sleep energy while I'm on a walk is when my battery dies and I'm forced to not listen to anything. And that happened a few times because obviously EPs don't take spare batteries with them. But and it's proven really good actually, because it forces me to think and to do the sleep, the sleep thing. But it's so hard because it feels like wasted time. That's how it feels. Because it's so it's I want to consume and I want to consume, and sleep just feels not redundant, but like a waste of time, even though I know it isn't. It's but
I think I agree. I've experienced that. I mean, for me, I've actually made a distinction. I have like a little baby framework I've been developing of like bullshit OP versus actual objective like OP, like useful OP, I guess. Right? Like social, like, cause like when someone says, "Oh, I'm doing sleep processing," it's usually this fake shit. Like, "Oh, I went for a walk," and "Oh, I thought about my emotions," and "Oh my god," like what the fuck. And usually when I start digging into it, it ends up them doing their saviors, actually, literally.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, yeah. Like, and what's funny is that in the social groups, the Facebook groups, everyone will reward them for doing this fake OP. It's peacocking. I think for me, it's actually, go ahead.
It's the exact same thing with my YouTube channel as well. I realized, and after the first few videos, all I was doing was ENFP shit. Like, yeah, because that's what we do. And but the aim of the channel is to do SI and FI, and SI will mean to actually, or SITE, say, blasting things in the real world and actually using actual examples and not do the ENFP bullshit thing, doing making a fool of yourself and playing the clown. That's not demon work for me, and it's just, but it's autopilot, and I didn't realize it until 3 videos in, but
and so just to finish my little distinction, okay, there's bullshit OP. Yeah, that's fine. There's bullshit OP, and then there's like, I don't have words for it, which is annoying, but like there's a way to track your saviors and demons according to objective goals. Mm-hmm. Once you like, and they've been preaching this recently, which is good. Once you have an objective goal, it's like literally the objective goal determines if you did your demons or not. I don't care if you did it 1%. Like, let's say you had, like, for example, for you with your YouTube channel, I'm just gonna do 1 video a week. Like, if you did it, you did your demons enough, as far as I'm concerned. But the moment you fail, that's when you need to analyze. Okay, like for me, I make the assumption of no matter what I tell myself, I failed because I did my saviors too much. So and this is how this plays out for me practically. This happened this week. Let's say, like, not even let's say, I was supposed to put clips out over the weekend, and I was tired, I was exhausted, so I didn't. So bullshit social OP is I could very easily come out and say, oh no, but I was finally doing sleep processing, and I finally took time for myself, and I took a break, and like I could post that on Facebook and get hella likes. They're like, oh my God, I'm so happy. I didn't even like you spamming us anyway. Right? But if I look at it according to the objective goal, I failed.
Because you're doing too much EP shit.
Exactly. It's like, okay, well, why didn't you have it organized? Why didn't you have it scheduled? Why did you why did you pack your week full of emotional bullshit to where you're so emotionally drained that you now don't feel like doing it this weekend? Right? So that is the more honest analysis. And I think that is where I can actually see my saviors and demons. So to answer the question of how I'm working on blast and sleep, is I'm just setting objective goals, and I'm forcing that to tell me when I'm off. Right? Like that. Because for me, like, for example, for you, posting, like, sometimes doing sleep and doing blast, like, it's not like something you even notice sometimes, right? Like, even the fact of you setting time aside to do the videos is a form of sleep and blast to me. But it's not like you would give yourself credit for that.
And I think one way of seeing it is also of seeing how to work on your demons is also by looking at it from the other perspective and saying, one way of working on demons is to stop overworking your saviors. So exactly the same thing happened to me this weekend. I had set an objective goal to hand in an outline of a proposal by Sunday evening, and I didn't get it done. I handed it in on Tuesday morning, and my first response, or my first reaction was that, oh, obviously I couldn't work on it on Sunday because Sunday was Easter Sunday, and I spent the day with my family, so obviously I couldn't work on it, so I obviously had to work on it on Monday. But the fact of the matter is, I didn't get it done. I could have got it done by Saturday evening had I not spent 3 hours on Facebook, 2 hours on the phone, gone out for a walk. Yeah, that's the actual reason why I didn't get it done, and not because of bullshit reason that I spent Easter Sunday with my family. And that's by what I'm trying to say is, had I stopped doing my saviors, had I dialed down the play energy and the procrastination shit, I could have got it done, because it would have forced me and it allowed me to actually do my sleep and my blast and get the SI done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that answers that question. So with that being said, so Cinzia, you have to help me out. Do you want me to disappear while you take the questions?
No, please don't.
I can. Apparently Emily wants that. Where's that fucking comment? Put it on blast. Apparently,
But it's-
Emily wants me gone. Okay.
but I don't. So
I
that's
don't need to be here on my
Emily.
channel.
I cancel you out. So it's
Canceled.
one.
Canceled. I love Emily though.
Yeah,
Okay.
same.
So let's go ahead and do the questions. I think you did questions while I was gone, right?
No, I just talked about. I can't even remember something like the third animal and the fourth. I did one question: how I relate to ST and SF.
Okay.
That's
Yeah, I
how
think that was
far
when I
got.
pulled up. Okay, so let's
Yeah.
go to. There's another. Oh no, you already answered that. Okay. Here's a question. You ready? So, how do you find your type affects your family and loved ones?
That's a good question. I think on a positive note, it can affect it in a positive way because I'm usually the joker and the clown. I'm the one making jokes, and I think they appreciate that. But on the other hand, the negative side is definitely the lack of communication. So I say if we arrange to meet up on Easter Sunday, for example, I would not communicate what train I'm catching, when I'm going to be there, and I will always leave it to them saying, well, are you going to be there by lunchtime or evening, or we have no idea what to expect? And I never realized that was it's probably a blend of EP-ness and don't control me and lastness, like I can't communicate. I think the DE also affects, especially probably my workplace sometimes in a negative way, because I can't make up my mind about what I actually want, and then I will ping the tribe and say, well, we could do this, we could do that, do you want this, do you want that? And the co-workers want sometimes is someone to take the lead and to say, we are going to do this. And I really I'm still learning how to do that.
Okay, sounds good. I don't have an answer to that. I don't have family or loved ones, except for Ikram. Let's see who's next. Jaspa. All right. Do you feel like you learn a lot through your double masculine sleep? I have a suspicion that masculines are linked to learning. I will say yes to that. I will say yes.
How does that manifest in you? What do you mean?
I literally, things won't sink in until I have something like an experience that I can stick to. Like, I think the Shan example is perfect. I didn't understand FI until I went through that. Because now I have like an actual sensory thing. I'm like, okay, well, this is what happens. You don't do it.
True.
You know?
That's true. Once you can relate it to your identity and you see it on paper, or you see something like very specific on paper, like an SI or like an SI schedule or something, and you do relate it to yourself. Yeah. I haven't really thought about that. Sorry, but probably. I really don't know. Sorry.
Okay.
I would say my first guess would have been I learn more through my consume, but I really haven't thought this through.
Okay, let's just skip it. He'll be fine.
Yeah, sorry.
Fine. All right. So this is OP unrelated, but where's Cinzia from? Where are you from?
Switzerland.
Not what? Sweden. Really? Where? Yeah. What part?
Sorry?
What part?
Northwestern Switzerland, Basel.
Is Geneva northwest? Where's Geneva?
Geneva is southwest. So Geneva is the French speaking part. We're the Swiss German speaking part.
Yeah, I went to Geneva once. I have family over there.
Oh.
So we might have driven by.
Yeah, you need to visit.
Yeah. I will. Okay. This is a question. Oh, hi, Anna. Anna's one of my favorites. So, Cinzia, sleep third suggests your hobby animal is SF sleep. In what ways does SF sleep influence your life, and what problems does it create?
2 words: Marie Kondo.
Oh God, I've been hearing about her a lot.
I love her. Oh, I love her. I've read her book, and it's like everything is Marie Kondo. Well, I'm trying to Marie Kondo my flat. So yeah, it's definitely a hobby animal. I would spend time thinking about routines that I like, or how to arrange my furniture or my clothes, and yeah, it's definitely something I do.
Spark joy? God. I've never. It's funny. I don't even know what Marie Kondo looks like. I've heard that phrase like legit like 10 times this week.
She's Japanese, and she's very like dainty, and everything sparks joy, and it's so great.
Do you think she has SF? Do you think she has SF sleep? Or like, do you
I
think
think they mentioned her. And I think they said something like FISI or SIFI, but they haven't really typed it. It's just like something like
that is kind of cool. That so this is a little channel change. That if Marie Kondo is SF sleep, that's a very interesting form of popularity, because like I said, I've been hearing about her a lot, and I've never like.
She's all about she might be more FISI. I'm not sure, but because she's not freaking out about chaos, and she's more like signifying things or peopleifying things. But she's really, it's all about asking yourself, does something spark joy in you? And if it does, then I will keep it. And it's like FI to the max.
That is so interesting to me, because like I've always been confused about SF sleep popularity, because you know how they call it the popular animal. Like I will say Marie Kondo, that phrase, does it spark joy, has come up literally like 10 times. Random people this week.
Yeah, and I think SF, SIF, like.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, SIFI is often also, I think, tied to nostalgia more than popularity. I'm not sure.
Well, no, I mean, but yes, but I think for me, it's like I think SF sleep might be like catchphrasey. You see what I'm saying? It creates like a little SI thing that people just repeat, because I've heard that like that one SI line like for the past few weeks.
SF sleep instead of ST sleep or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I mean, this is a conjecture. We'll have to see what her type is, but okay, that's kind of cool. All right. So next, from Emily. For Emily, I'm gonna let you do this one, okay?
Okay. No! Oh God. Here we go again. So yeah, that's interesting. I would say I see myself, like, if you follow me around, you would see that I'm more of an introvert, probably because I'm sleep and consume in the middle. But obviously, as soon as I talk to people, like right now, I'm very extroverted. So I always felt like I knew I was an ambivert, because I always felt like I want to avoid people. But then as soon as someone talks to me, I'm very open and very accommodating and making sure they feel at ease. So I would say, I don't know, I would probably say 60% introvert, 40% extrovert, but definitely not on one or the other side. But also, I mean, EPs are not going to narrow things down. So obviously I want to be everything. So I'm going to be both. Reggie, come back.
Yeah, I'm gonna SI that to death with Emily now. Every time Emily asks a question, I'm just gonna go off stream. People are gonna be so confused.
We're just gonna not take any questions from her then anymore.
Yeah, all future guests gonna be like, Reggie, what happened? Yeah, it's gonna be hilarious. Let me see any other questions. Oh wait. Oh no, that's not a question. Here, here we go. Oh hey Eric. What the hell? It like skipped all the way to the bottom. Sorry, Eric. Give me 1 second.
Can blame what
you
on
see
you,
this?
Simon? Yes.
There you go. Okay. So what has been your reaction to your type opposites like Martha Stewart, Sarah, Rob, or Hagen, or Cherie? What do you like or dislike about them? Martha is super attractive.
Well, I'm not gay, so I can't really. That doesn't really count. But
you agree with me.
She is.
Think about how old she is.
Yeah, that's true. She is. Yeah, that's true. She's good
That's,
looking.
that is some SI goals. I want my health routine to be on her
But that's
level.
not what he means. That's not what he means. He
That is
means
a
like,
reaction.
okay. But I think I'm drawn to them, like in a platonic, non-romantic way. So, for example, one of my absolute favorites. If you're watching this, you're one of my favorites. Is Laura from her group, Laura Miller, and she has SI at the top, and I just something. It's weird. It draws me to the SIs because I can see. I can probably feel the void when I'm leaving, and there's something there. I'm not sure what, but what do you like? What do you dislike about them? Well, I can't really say. I like that they have a calmness about the SI that I don't, because mine, I am obsessed with SI, but in a demon state. So I want to be I'm usually very microanalytical and micromanaging things, whereas the lead SIs would be more natural with keeping things in check, I guess. And I suspect that my sister has lead SI as well. So maybe that's something, so I might have grown up with one. And what gets me annoyed about them, like, I don't know. It depends on the person, really, because I don't think I really am drawn to any type in particular. More, it also depends on the person, I guess. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep my comments to myself. They'd be too spicy.
Ooh.
I've learned from my mistakes.
Okay.
I've repented of my spiciness.
Okay.
I fucking hate. Anyway, you already let it slip. But all right, you ready for the next question?
I am. No, I'm not. I'm never ready, but I'm as ready as I'm gonna be.
What type are you most drawn to? This is a good question. Are we talking about like aesthetically?
Mm-hmm.
So I will comment real quick.
Yeah,
I just had a conversation with Cassidy. She's a vibe, bro. She's a vibe. She's Megyn Kelly's type. I thought Megyn Kelly was a vibe.
Okay.
They're both a vibe. Now, I don't know what to tell you. They feel like kin. I'm like, this is a vibe, As for like attraction, apparently I'm attracted to feminine sensors, apparently. Really? I didn't know that, but someone tracked that for me. So thank you, whoever did the SI for me. As well as masculine DE, apparently. Apparently someone did the SI for me. Like really more the feminine DI, because I think it's just I feel like I need to protect it. I think that's also just like something I like doing. So that's me.
Yeah.
What about you?
I think I've been so romantically probably been drawn to IPs, or at least DIs, definitely.
Okay.
And it's it's not gone well because I think it's because I haven't worked on my DI, and so my natural instincts are usually to just subdue, or not subdue, subject, no, just to try and do everything for them, and obviously that's not working.
That doesn't work.
And at least not long term. And but I think it's because I see the void, the DI void that I'm leaving, and so I'm probably attracted to them.
Yeah.
But I couldn't say what type, because I'm so bad at typing, so I couldn't say what my ex's types were, because
what about on the docs?
off.
What about on the docs?
Yeah, the lead FIs.
Like Chris Evans.
Like Ryan Gosling's, like people like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, he's kind of a cutie.
This has kind of got me into, or the IP vibe, the I don't give a shit about you vibe. That's probably something like draws me to them. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, really good. So next from hi Natasha, where you been at? All right. What do you like to NF consume? I want to hear yours. Yeah, I'm curious.
Podcasts. All the podcasts. Like true crime podcasts or truth and justice. And this is my advice, so be gentle, okay? But all the podcasts, like all the also political podcasts, recently started following someone called Rebel Wisdom. He's like an investigator. Yeah. He's quite good.
Looks like an ENFP.
Does he? I thought, yeah, I
think he does.
Oh.
I feel like he
but
does.
I like the calmness of him. Like he's not accusatory. He's very calm about the information. He just says, well, look, I want to show both sides, and it's like not one against the other. And I really like the calmness of his investigations, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, podcasts all day, every day.
Nice. Really good.
What's yours?
I think for me, it's been movie clips. I've been watching a lot of movie clips. Okay. So this is gonna sound confusing, but hopefully this makes sense. I will watch like clips of movies, whether I've seen them or not, and shows, like literally to get the overview. Mm-hmm. I don't want to watch the whole show. I want to watch the overview of the show. Like show me the highlights. Yeah. So I'll watch I've watched all the highlights of WandaVision. I've watched all the highlights of like Falcon and the Winter Soldier, right? Like, but I'm not gonna sit down for like an hour. Like, are you fucking crazy?
Yeah.
Like,
so much other stuff to consume.
Yeah, exactly. So,
that's also why
yeah.
No, that's also why I chose podcasts, because you can listen to podcasts while you're going on a walk.
Mm-hmm.
Right. You can do the play and the consuming at the same time.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty smart. Yeah. So for me, this is also one I feel like Facebook started targeting me because it knows what I'm clicking on. It will send me random articles about like Marvel movies coming out or like anime coming out, and I 100% read all of them. I'm like, wait, what did Goku do? It's almost like it's like gossip. It's like, what the fuck did Goku do this week? What? It's totally useless information. But like, I know exactly what's happening in Dragon Ball right now. I know exactly what's going on in all these random animes I'm never gonna watch. Like,
that's the curse. That's the curse, because I think it's the consume curse, but also the NT curse, because recently I thought about game theory and Nash equilibrium, and I thought, I couldn't explain it to someone properly if I had to. So it was probably 2:00 in the morning. I thought I had to Google what exactly Nash equilibrium is in game theory and how it applies to the real world. And I thought, this is so ridiculous, because I never need to know that. It doesn't matter in my life, but it's just something like you have to figure it out. And it's only once you figure it out that you get peace.
Yours sounds smarter than mine. Mine is legit, like a literal like nerd stuff from like my childhood.
But I mean, I would also just yesterday. I think I googled or YouTubed something like makeup or something. I was like, how to do an eyeliner, even though I never use eyeliner. So
yeah,
it's just
that's so funny.
Or like things like childbirth or something like that. And I don't have children. I'm not getting pregnant anytime soon. But still, I needed to know how that would feel like. Like, what the fuck? It's just I needed to consume whatever I think about. I need to consume it. I need to know everything about it.
All right, really good. So let me see if there's any other questions. No. I think we have one. Oh, wait, no, there's 2 more questions. Wait.
I saw a comment from Simon that if you have him on your show one day, you have to talk about it with him, with his theory about the animals. That the animals aren't. But I can't talk about that because that's his theory, and I'm not really not. Yeah. I haven't grasped it properly, I guess.
So no problem. So I forgot. So we're gonna do some more questions, but then we have to do Habib's question at the end, okay?
Yeah.
Don't forget.
But we kind of also already answered that, but we can.
We'll recap it for him. Okay. So Cinzia, what is your NF? Well, we just answered that.
Yeah.
Okay. So Anna, just gotta rewind. So Tanya, how do you relate to your NT? Do you see yourself being an inventor? And if yes, where? I'm curious about. You were just looking up, Nash equilibrium. So There you go.
Well, I think I'm a puzzler for sure. And like whenever I don't understand something, I cannot let it go until I understand it. It's like of course, everyone will have feelings of I don't understand, I don't get it, I don't see the reason. But I think the NTs would be, it's like an obsession. I cannot let it go until I understand it. And with the inventor, well, not really inventor in the original sense, but I think I can really, if you think about inventing as in coming up with solutions, then yes, absolutely. Like, for example, when we first entered the lockdown, and the gyms were closed, and I have to train 4 times a week with barbells and weights and stuff for the powerlifting. I immediately figured out, worked on it until I figured out how to get this done in my own apartment. So I bought all the weights and all the stuff, and I moved stuff out of the way in my flat so I could have a corner where I could set up a squat rack and all that stuff. And that to me is normal. That's just obviously that everyone would do that. But then I had a friend who really was very lost, and she needed about 5 friends to help her figure out how to set up the same thing in her apartment. And I was just flabbergasted because I thought, well, it's so obvious that you would try to figure out a solution. And you wouldn't outsource it to anyone else because it's your responsibility.
Wow, that's so funny. We're different.
Yeah.
I outsource everything.
Oh.
Absolutely everything is outsourced. My NT is outsourced. Everything's outsourced.
Like, what's that mean? How does it look?
You figure it out. That's how.
And you're okay with that? Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Because I'm like, I don't have time for this.
But that's the sleep last thing maybe.
Because there you go.
Time for it. I don't know.
I don't have time for your bullshit. Just go be free.
I don't want anyone to figure out my problems because I want to understand them. It's like when someone says, well, this is the solution. You don't have to think about it. It's like, no. I have to understand every single step in, like, when you're doing mathematics, for example. I couldn't just say, follow the rules. And it's like the minus goes here and the squares go here. No. I have to know why. Why do we square this and why do we divide this by 2? It's like I have to know it. Yeah.
I don't have to know a damn thing.
Maybe you're SF after all.
Yeah, can I hire someone? Yeah, Eric trying to be a fucking troll. Yeah, can I outsource my thumbnails to Minna, who's doing great, by the way? You think I could have done that shit? Like, Eric, come on, Eric. Come on now.
Your thumbnails
do better than that. You can do better than that. Like, isn't he like Demon FE? You could do better than this, Eric. Come on now. All right. So, yeah, I think for me, I outsource my NT because it's like, for me, it's like, look, the whole, and for me, how I explain it is, since my NT is play and is double activate, it's like, look, the NT is for the tribe. I'm not figuring it out for myself. I'm figuring it out for you fuckers. Excuse my language. So I was like, okay, go figure it out then. That's not my problem.
Okay, so for you, it would be more important to figure it out in the first place, whoever that is who figures it out. As long as it's being figured out as soon as possible. Is that how it works?
Yeah, just figure it out fast, and then we can move on to the next problem. Why?
Wow. Yeah.
I don't have time for you. Like, I don't have time for that. Oh, Reggie, why can't we do that? Can you go amongst yourselves?
But if it's a problem for you, if it's your problem, if it's something that affects you in your life, like
then I go find the people who are the best at solving that, and I ask them, do you think I have time to sit there? Okay. No. If I'm bad at sleep, I'm gonna ask the best people who are at sleep processing. I'm just gonna go straight to the sleep.
But that might be like the difference between the two of us, the sleep and the blasting, because I would absolutely do that with the little sleep energy that I have. Whereas I wouldn't blast because I wouldn't want to engage someone or like tell someone to figure something out for me, because that would probably include blasting. Maybe it could be.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's
It's
just a
like, yeah,
personal preference. Sometimes
just
it's not
yeah,
just because of the OP type. Sometimes it's just also because of who you are, right? You should probably not
yeah.
overanalyze things.
You just gotta abuse the tribe. Just find the best people who can solve the problem, get their hot take, and then you're done. You know? Like, now, granted, Dion's absolutely right. Like, Dion's saying, hey, sometimes their answers aren't going to work for you. And that's where the sleep legitimately comes in, because you have to actually apply it, especially with SI. You have to apply it to your particular experience, your particular context.
Yeah.
You know? So that's, you know, that's where I'm learning.
That will lead to resentment.
But not really, because like, I think for me, and I will say this, even as I've been working on my processes on my own, I feel like I'm miles ahead than people who are trying to do it by themselves, because I went to the people who are really good at sleep. So I was able to avoid, because you have to think about it. People who have been doing their saviors have gone through the same mistakes you've gone through, like at like 10 years earlier.
Yeah.
So why would I make those mistakes? That's fucking dumb.
So you're basically playing your sleep, right?
Yeah.
You play energy in your sleep, because you ping off the tribe, and then you pick the one sleep energy thing that applies to you in the end.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like the advantage of that is like, I can like circumvent a lot of those beginner mistakes. It's like an apprenticeship. It's like, why
maybe you
am
need
I
to
doing?
make them?
No, you
I'm
don't.
just bullshitting.
That's such a lie. That's such a lie. It's like, I really don't, you know. But anyway, that's me. All right, there's a few more questions, and then we got to wrap up for sure.
I have no idea how you keep track of those. So many.
Do you enjoy wikis? I used to love wikis. I used to love reading Wikipedia pages. I don't do it anymore.
I think the only situation I used them was when I was watching Game of Thrones, and so I used the wiki to see what's going to happen in the next episode, because I couldn't bear the episodes were so brutal, and the violence and just the sadism. I can't, and so I had to read ahead what's going to happen in the episode so I could brace myself. That's probably the only situation in which I ever used a wiki. Wow. But I was born in the 80s, so I mean, wow, what even is a wiki?
Oh my god. Oh, there you go. And I think we have one last question.
Right.
Oh wait, no, we have two more questions. What do I have time for? I have time for your question, Dion. That's what I have time for. I have time for your question, your precious question. Okay. God. All right. So the last question is going to come from Habib. So with play first and blast last, how do you differentiate between when you are just playing versus actual organized blast?
Yeah. So that was the question from Facebook, right? And I prepared. I even put down some notes like a psychopath, because I had time to think about it. And as I said before, I think there's like two sides to blast and play. Like one is the teaching aspect, and one is the transitioning aspect of blast. And so I already talked about the transitioning aspect, right? That the beginning and the ending of any given interaction would be the blast aspect, whereas the thing in between would be the play aspect. So I would say if you're having trouble thinking, oh, is this blast now, or am I blast last or play last, I would probably think about what happens once you're at the party. Are you okay, or is it draining, or is the going to the party, and is that the hard thing? So that would probably be how I would discriminate between these two. And when it comes to teaching and just general rambling or bird chirping, it's harder, because I would probably say that I would start out with trying to present the points in a structured way, but I would usually often go back to my savior play state, which would be to say, do you know what I mean? Or what do you think about this? And I would, in a room full of people, I would absolutely go back to the play state and ping back off the tribe while I'm teaching, because just teaching something or just teaching someone how something works to me feels like very patronizing and very, maybe they don't even want to hear it. Maybe they already know it. Maybe it's boring. Maybe they don't agree with it. So the unilateral direction of blast is something I really struggle with. Plus the fact that you have to actually think about what you're going to talk about when you're blasting, because you have to narrow things down and present it in a structured way. Whereas play is just talking and just thinking aloud. That would be one of my catchphrases is I'm just thinking aloud, because that would be just play state, talking and making your mind up as you go.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. There you go, Habib. Okay.
But I think he's got the same animal stack as me.
Does.
I think
He
he's
just
SET
SET.
with the same. So I would be, so Habib, if you see this, let me know if you have the same, if you feel the same, because yeah, it would be interesting.
All right, so let's go ahead and wrap up. Cinzia, stay on for a little bit. Okay, just we can do a little debrief. But everyone else, thank you for enduring my observer. Oh my God, this is a nightmare.
My bird chirping.
Yeah,
the bird has chirped and now it's dead.
yes. Okay, so all of the relevant shit's in the description. Okay, I do need to update the links for the beginner series, but I will go ahead and get to work on that still. But other than that, everyone else, thank you all for attending. If you guys are going to game night's starting pretty soon, so you might want to pop over there. We're playing Among Us. Okay, so other than that, everyone except for Cinzia, we're heading out. So I will see you on the next one. Take care.
Bye.
See, I'm not even sure if it's not live anymore. This is ridiculous.